And welcome back. Righty ho. Last video I was a little bit confused. I think I'd made a typo in this area. But anyway, moving on. Last video we set up some levels that included making new levels, rewriting them, repositioning them in relation to the topo surface. That's what we did. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to just set up some reference planes or reference lines. Okay, so I'll just update that a little bit there. Okay, with a view to setbacks. Okay, so a setback is what is the maximum or the minimum amount that we need to place the external wall of a building or something to that effect. Okay. So let's just go to where these setbacks are. Okay, so right now, just open up the window, which is the building regulations for 2018. Remember, this is for Victoria, state of Victoria in Australia only. Different rules apply around the world, but the principles are probably very similar. Okay, so with our one, I've gone to clause 73, and it talks about the maximum setback. Okay, and so there's the maximum setback. And it says here a class 1 building, when first constructed, must not be set back from the front street alignment more than 1/3. There we go, that's the magic number there. So no more than 1/3 of the depth of the allotment. Well, if I go back 1/3, it's 10 metres setback. It's just crazy. Now, if I scroll down a little bit, okay, and I go to my minimum setbacks, okay, this talks about zoning and Schedule 6. I'm not going to worry about that right now. We're going to assume that there's nothing stopping us, I suppose. And I'm just going to scroll down here a little bit, and we get this table. Okay, table 74, street setbacks. Okay. And what it does is it just gives us, let's make that tiny little bit smaller. There we go. So what this does is it gives us some examples of where the house could be positioned. So that's the context. And then what is the minimum street setback from the front street alignment and from a side street alignment. Okay, so see here the minimum street setback. Okay, so let's have a look here. Existing dwellings on adjoining allotments. Do we have that? No. Existing dwelling on one allotment. Do we have that? No. As before, we've got nothing. So we're this one here. No existing dwellings on adjoining allotments facing the same street. That's what we have. Okay, zoom out. Go to our site plan. Well, there's nothing there anyway. Okay, so that's what we've got. Okay, so the minimum setback, so CS is the minimum, okay, is 6 metres for a building on a declared road. We'll assume that it's not declared, it's not on a big major arterial road or anything like that. Then it says 4 metres for a building facing any other street. Okay, so that's the minimum, 4 metres. The maximum, scrolling back up, up, no more than 1/3. Okay, so let's just go back to our thing here. Okay, so we have 30 metre here. Okay, that's the depth of our allotment. We're going to assume that there would be a street here. Okay, so 1/3 of that is 10 metres for argument's sake. Okay, so we're now looking at, okay, well, where do we go with this one here? So I'm going to use my reference plane. So I'm going to go to architecture, and I'm going to go to reference planes. There's a shortcut there of RP. And I'm just going to click on that, and I'm going to draw my reference plane tied to this particular, the front setback. Okay, so that's the front of the boundary. And then what I'm going to do is I'm now going to copy this. So if I select that, I've got my copy button there. So click on that, and I'm going to drag it 4,000 millimeters over, and go left click. Okay, and I'm going to copy that again 10 meters. Sorry, 6, because I want the maximum. Okay, so the rule is here for the front setback is that this is our minimum. I can click on here and say minimum setback, and this one here I could say maximum setback. Okay, so from between here and there, we're allowed to put the front wall of the house, okay, of the dwelling. Okay, so let's just go back to that minimum street back there. So it says here the front walls. So don't worry too much about, we'll talk about them later on. Okay, now side and rear setbacks. Let's have a quick look over here. So section 79. Okay, 3.6 meters. So this is the side setbacks are determined by height as well. So we have, if it's 3.6 meters or less, then we have to have a minimum setback of 1 meter. Okay, and then it talks about all these other things, you know. So as the building gets higher, we have to push it further in away from the boundary, okay, to allow light and all that sort of stuff to come into the neighbouring buildings. So everything goes vertical like an apartment, obviously we get problems with light. Okay, and then we have some issues, you know. Okay, these things here can encroach past the setback, so they can go past this 1 meter if we want it. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my Revit plan, and I'm going to use my reference plane, and I'm going to do another one there. I'm going to copy that one as well. I'm actually going to make this setback a lot deeper, 1500. Okay, the reason being I'll explain later on. Okay, and I'm going to do another reference plane here, and I'm going to copy that one in 2 meters for now. That doesn't feel right. Probably about 2.5 for now. I think I need to adjust that little number there. But this is design. This is what it's all about. Okay. So we're starting to get a picture, right? So we can go, okay, well, there's one side of the house, there's another side of the house. Could have a garage here. Okay. Now, the beauty of it is if I go into my elevations, we see these reference planes in 3D as well, so in 2D. Okay, so we get to see an elevation, what's going on. Now, if I go into 3D, what do we see there? Okay, nothing much. I could actually go and show the work plane that's currently active, okay, which is the ground floor plan. I'll turn that off. Okay. So, taking that into account, let's just zip back to the ground floor plan. Okay, we've got a front setback, we've got a minimum setback, we've got a maximum setback. Okay, for the purposes of this design, we're going to run with the minimum. Okay, but we will press the garage. We're going to put a garage down here. We're going to assume a crossover over here. We're going to put a garage over here. Okay, so we'll press the garage back a little bit because we've got to think about maximum fall of driveways and all that sort of stuff. Okay, so we're going to leave it there. So that's our setting up our reference planes and lines all sorted. Okay, next video we're going to set up some master views in our project browser. Okay, I'll explain that when we zooming in around. I'll explain everything. So in a moment. Okay, we'll see you later.